What is up, everyone? Today is July 29th, 2026. Today's a Wednesday. Today, I ended up making around $582. I'll show my P&L right here. 582. Today, I took a short here on the NASDAQ right here. So, to start off, we will start on the higher time frame. So, going into 10 a.m., I ended up having a bearish bias. You sort of have to zoom in here to see that we closed below the 2 a.m. candle low right here. So 6 a.m. Candle closes below 2 a.m. low right here. So for 10 a.m. I was expecting a open high low close, which is what we're getting right now. Currently, we wicked up higher into this 4-hour order block, and now we're getting a distribution to the lower side. So after seeing that we had a bearish bias, I originally went down to the 15-minute time frame just to see where we could possibly manipulate into what PD array was closest to us. And for what I originally marked out was this 15-minute order block we had right here. We also had a 30-minute order block, which was closer. And then this was considered a change in the state and delivery, where price barely misses this 30-minute change in the state right here. So I just kept scaling up to the time frames, and then eventually got to the 4-hour time frame where we created this 4-hour order block. So yesterday in the video that I created, this example right here, the trade that I ended up taking today, was based off of an order block PD array. Just this so happened to be on the 4-hour time frame. Whenever I'm looking for like step two within my trading, like in order to execute a trade, I'm looking either on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the 1 hour, or the 4 hours, the highest time frame that I go up to. So we ended up creating this 4-hour order block right here. You can see this 6 a.m. candle closure below these two up close candles. So this was a PD array that I was willing to take a short from. This was where I was looking for 10 a.m. to manipulate up into, which was obviously this order block. So we can keep this marked out right here just so that way when we drop down, we can see that this is here. So I was willing to take a short from here. And then, like I said, we drop down to the lower time frame, which is going to be the 1-minute time frame. Here's our 4-hour order block. And then, so once we tapped into here, you can see that this pretty much aligns perfectly with our change in the state and delivery, and also our stop hunt, as well as this PD array is above 10 a.m. opening price. We can mark out 10 a.m. right here. Okay. So we see 10 a.m. opens, goes into our PD array, and then out of that PD array, we generate a stop hunt right here. We can mark this out. Here's our stop hunt. You can zoom in right here. We end up creating a super small swing high right here. And then straight after that, we get a bearish change in the state and delivery right here. So I end up entering here. This was very like sort of confusing just because you can't clearly see that it's a change in the state and delivery, but we barely close below this up close candle right here. So right here's the closure, and as soon as this candle closed, this candle opened, pretty pretty violently to the downside, and my entry was extremely bad. So I think I got filled somewhere around here. I think it was, yeah, somewhere around there, and I ended up targeting about a 1-to-1 risk reward. So my fill was not the best. My fill was supposed to be all the way right here in a perfect world, but we ended up getting filled somewhere right around here and targeted a 1-to-1 risk reward. I was risking about $500 on this trade, and it ended up making a little bit more just because my risk was I got filled lower, so it made me risk more on the trade. So that's how I made the $582. This PD array, the most complicated part about this trade, I would say, was the PD array. For most of you guys, understanding like PD arrays on all the time frames instead of just looking on one singular time frame is probably going to be sort of confusing at first. But once you understand that the PD arrays exist on the 15-minute all the way through the 4 hour, gives you 4 different time frames to look for points of interest to look for shorts from. After 10 a.m. Manipulates into a certain PD array that we're looking for to short from. And then obviously we get our clear entry function here. I would say this is definitely A plus because we have a stop hunt here. Very clean CISD. You notice how we leave a singular wick here. There's not low resistance liquidity wicks resting at our stop loss. This is definitely a trade that I would take 10 out of 10 times. So whenever I did see this trade, I immediately executed it and put the risk on the table. And yeah, I don't think we barely had any drawdown here, maybe for like 1 minute or 2 minutes. And then price just dumped straight down to our TP. So that is exactly how I made the $582 today trading. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have a good setup and a A plus model that shows up. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys.